All right, right there. Cut it. All right, great. Yeah. We can only use 15 seconds of the song, or else we're in a ton of trouble. All right, this is the Mooch Pokemon episode. But first, Mooch, I don't know if you remember, we were at Bonnaroo last summer together, last June, and we had a great time. And we, we're walking around checking out some of the shops. And there was this one store that was selling shirts and jackets with, really cool imprints on them. And you started talking to the shop owner, and you were, I guess, on like a really intense Adderall. So for maybe 8 minutes straight, you just explained your entire life story to him and all of the, multifaceted aspects of your childhood. So for the people listening to this podcast, just to get an intro to you, Moochman23, can you just give them the same kind of rundown?
100%. So I'm the type of kid where ever since I was really little, I've been prescribed Adderall at a high dosage. So I have terrible ADD, ADHD, all that. And I think what aroused me to go into the deep parts of my childhood with that random man at Bonnaroo was he was selling clothing that had every one of my favorite fictional characters on it. I saw some Darth Vaders, some Boba Fett's, some Pokemon, and it just kind of got me excited. So I had to open up. But I'm the type of person I open up too much. Like when I was a kid, my mom would always tell me, she'd say, I can't tell you anything because you're just going to go tell everyone. Because I've always been that kind of crazy Adderall up kid. So I won't shut up. But basically, I guess I am Mooch. My gamer tag on Xbox is Moochman23 since I was like 10. Mooch comes from my last name. My last name is Scaramucci. As of right now, you can also call me the Infinity Man if you want. I've created a production company. I dropped out of school last year and to chase my dream of being a movie director. I direct music videos right now, and the name of my production company is Infinity Studios. I make the O's in the Mooch and Infinity sign, just for a little stylistic touch, some fancy shit. But I really believe in fictional universes. I think my biggest inspiration is George Lucas, Stan Lee, like those type of people really inspire me. And then in real life, someone who really put me on game is this guy named James Rico. He directs all of the Baby's music videos, and he's the reason why I dropped out of school. And he really showed me, like, in person what it takes to be a director.
Well, it's bizarre because, all of our friends, whenever we see you, whenever we picture you editing at your computer for 8 hours straight, not sleeping and not realizing that any time has passed. So it's almost like your perception of time has been a coronavirus perception of time, but for years, days blend together.
My boy, shout out my boy Orlando for saying this the other day, but it's like a 24-hour lifestyle, you know what I mean? Especially when you're hanging out with these rappers, it's like 3 a.m. Like at 3 a.m. in the morning is when we start doing like the regular people things that they do at 3 p.m. Like we're like, all right, now we got to go eat. It's 3 a.m. and they go, it's just a bunch of...
Yeah, now that I think about it, I just can't picture you at 4 o'clock. Like I can't imagine what you're like at 4 p.m. when my day's starting to wind down. 4 p.m. I'm starting to think about what my evening and my night are going to look like. I don't think you exist at that time. Which is ironic because so what do you do for music videos? Like, can you explain?
All right, so basically anyone who's out there, because I get a million DMs, crazy people always DMing me trying to get some insight, but really all it is like I edit visual effects, I have a camera, I click buttons, that's like the most simplistic way to say it, but it's really I use Adobe. That's what empowers me. And if you're like young and you're trying to get into it and you don't know what the fuck to do, definitely start off with Adobe Creative Cloud. It has access for you to do anything. You can make cover arts, you can make logos for companies, you can go and do visual effects using After Effects, you can lay down video edits in Premiere. And
how did you learn how to do all those?
So when I was really, really little, I was obsessed with George Lucas, and I was obsessed with Star Wars. And George Lucas has the same birthday as me, which is kind of a weird coincidence. And um, I was enabled to be a crazy fuck because I stole my dad's credit card information when I was really little, and I attached it to my Amazon account, and I ordered every Lego set I ever wanted, right? Ever. And I was obsessed with Lego
If
Star
I
Wars.
if I put this out there, am I gonna get an angry call from Anthony Scaramucci Sr. saying,
Oh,
why did you put
no,
put an
he already whipped me around. He already got, he's we're all love now. It's all love now.
no? But I'm
There's
just saying,
water over the bridge about the Legos.
I'm just first of all, it's water under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
Second of all, I know that it's all good now, but you have to understand. This means I'm putting out like an audio clip where you're just saying that you stole your dad's credit card to buy Legos.
It's all good. It's all good. He understands.
He'll call me.
He knows that it paid off. You know what I'm saying? He knows this work. I'm working.
Is that it?
But basically I supplied myself with Legos at a young age, right? So I had the resources. You gotta to start do anything production wise. You need a budget. You need some sort of resources, right? So I had my Legos, and then I got a camera. I took my mom's camera at the time. She let me use it, and I started taking pictures of the Legos and building custom sets. And I started writing down like my own stories, where I was like, "Yo, Luke Skywalker is gonna do this, and this my version of Lego Star Wars instead." And I just started running it up on a YouTube channel called Lego Dude 17, which doesn't exist anymore. But that was my shit. And Lego stop motion, right? Because I went on YouTube and I was like, how do I do Lego stop motion? How do I do this? That's the first place anyone ever starts, honestly, nowadays. You go on the fucking internet and you search, how the fuck do I do this? You know, you got to figure out what you want to do. And YouTube told me to download Adobe After Effects to run my images and composite them into one long video, one nice stop motion. So I started using After Effects when I was like 8 years old. Like, just started learning it at a young age, and now it's like muscle memory. And After Effects is probably my strongest software because of that. And you know, that's really where I started. You know, Legos is what kind of got me into Adobe, and Adobe got me into music videos and effects. And you know, I feel like a lot nowadays, a lot like our generation, like a lot of kids, like we just look at our phones, right? We see other people doing stuff, and we go, "Wow, I want to do that too," you know. And then you just got to do it in your own way, you know. So I saw other people like Cole Bennett, who were literally having fun with their camera and their computer and their creativity, and I was like, I want to do that too. So I just kind of did my own thing and started doing music videos. But yeah,
Is there a way to get this top-notch equipment without stealing your parents' credit cards? Can people download it some other way?
yeah. So Adobe is only like $20, you know. So you could literally in Adobe, you don't. You could shoot anything with your freaking iPhone. Like I can go outside right now. I can go record a video. Of,
what are you doing? Your microphone is picking up some weird shit.
My bad. I think I was touching my microphone by accident while I was talking.
No, it's fine. At least it isn't like the first. At least it isn't like the first time we tried to record an episode when you were eating like what was it, Laffy Taffy?
It was destroying Laffy Taffies.
Which is pretty much the opposite of what to do if you're trying to talk into a mic and record clean audio.
But what I was saying is that you can literally shoot anything with an iPhone. Like the difference between an iPhone and an Alexa, you know, like it's very like small, but it's also very big, you know? So like I could literally go outside with anyone. Let's say I want to do a music video. I'm like, yo, Iann Dior, let's go outside and record it with my iPhone, record him doing his thing. We have some fun. Take all that footage, slap it into Adobe Premiere, cut it up. Before you know it, you got a fucking music video. You know, that's how it goes.
So that's interesting. And you obviously put so much, you know, focus into it. I can tell you that I've been at social events with Mooch and Alex David, our whole gang, when we've been with a ton of people, and Mooch was on his laptop editing a music video. Because Mooch, you never stop. You never fucking stop. It makes everyone around you concerned about your health, but damn it, it works. It is the true hustle.
I learned that from Pokemon because when I was young, I had a Pokemon game. Pokemon was my first video game. right? Because of my brother. My brother put it on to me. He's my older brother, shot him out. And Pokemon taught me that you always have to be grinding. You always have to be leveling up. If you want to be the fucking champion, you gotta fucking put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You can your Charizard's not gonna become Charizard if you don't go in the fucking wild, you don't kill some Pokemon.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So for those of you who don't know, Mooch's dad runs this massive hedge fund, and he was a White House official.
He's Darth Vader. He's literally Darth Vader. He wears all black. Every vehicle he owns is all black. And I call him Darth Vader to break his balls. He's a sensitive man, so he gets offended. But
I'm gonna get in so much trouble for putting this out. But what was I gonna say?
You can put this out.
Okay, well, you're taking shit for it, all right? I'm not. Well, anyway, so Mooch's dad, he gives a ton of speeches. He gives a ton of talks and panels, and I could just imagine if one day Anthony Scaramucci at some big hedge fund event started, giving the same talks that his son Mooch gave. Like, imagine if your dad went up in front of a crowd of 2,000 people and went, "Look, when Red was training to be the best Pokemon trainer, he taught, he told me never to give up, and you need to look at your stocks the way you look at your level 5 Tyranitar."
Yeah, no, I think the way my dad's mind is, he's very by the books. He's a Harvard graduate. He's very smart. He reads books like every day, and I play video games every day. I fucking watch movies every day, and I edit every day. So it's a very different mindset.
So you're an American hero, Mooch.
I'm more inspired by pop culture versus professors. I always had straight Fs. Could never really do school.
Well, weren't you also a D1 lacrosse player?
Yeah. So I played lacrosse for where I grew up in Long Island, New York. If any of you guys are from Long Island, you know that you get born and you get handed a lacrosse stick. But I was different. No one in my family ever played lacrosse. And the weirdest part about it is I went to boarding school when I was 12. I didn't start playing lacrosse until I left Long Island. So I went to boarding school. And then I came back for high school to my public school. And I was committed to Sacred Heart University as a freshman, which, because for some reason lacrosse, they decided to recruit 12-year-olds for college. I had a very interesting upbringing. I went to 6 different high schools and middle schools. I was always getting kicked out of school or tossed around for various regions, but that's all in the past. And, I never really had really had that one school I went to, but I personally believe that nowadays, I believe education is incredibly important and powerful, but it doesn't matter how you get it. You don't need to go to school. You could literally, I believe I learned from just, like the Nike slogan, just do it. That's how I learn best. I just got to fucking start doing it. And then you learn.
You sound like a YouTube influencer.
But and I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, they want everything. They want it so fast. They don't really understand what it takes for it to happen, and you got to take it slow. You got to be more calm. I feel like everyone's crazy.
Well, I definitely understand the appeal of just relaxing. I mean, do you consider when you're literally staring at a screen for 9 hours at a time, is that relaxing to you or is it stressful?
It depends on the project, because sometimes I want something to look like the way it does in my head, and then getting it to look like that is where it gets stressful, so let's say in my head, I'm like, oh, I want Lego Kylo Ren to do a backflip and slay this guy and slice him in half with his lightsaber. Well, then I have to go downstairs in my mom's basement and take 3,000 images of Lego Kylo Ren doing a backflip, and then I have to.
Didn't I voice a character for that video?
Yeah, I have a Lego video coming out called "The Assassination of Kylo Ren," where actually Cameron Kasky himself is the one who assassinates him. So stay tuned. Oh,
really?
For that.
My finest performance. Hold on, I'm adding David in right now. Okay, David is entering when he can, but basically, just to finish what we were talking about, you're saying that if you download the right programs and you just grind and look at all the YouTube videos and all the resources available online, you
just got to get started. You can be 1,000 times more talented and better than me at what I do if you just go for it. You could be Like, I want to be the best director that's ever existed.
But you have but you have access to all, you're saying that it's not hard to get access to the resources even if you don't like have the
Definitely,
ability to buy it easily.
definitely. Also, uh, don't quote me with this, but you could literally download anything on the internet. Like, you could even get After
All right,
Effects for
yeah.
free. You
No,
know,
I understand. Through some
like
sort of magical circumstances that we're not going to
yeah.
talk about on this podcast. David Mazouz, welcome to the show.
Yes, David has like a recording mic. Like,
Is this working? Does it sound good?
Yeah, it sounds
sounds
okay.
fantastic.
I can't tell if it's using the mic or my computer.
Freestyle right now.
No. We gotta build up to it. I can't give it to him.
David, you sound horrible. You sound terrible, David.
That's pretty mean of you to say.
No, I mean, not your freestyle. I'm saying the mic.
Oh wait, do I actually?
Yeah,
Doesn't sound that bad.
it sounds abrasive.
Okay, you sound abrasive.
Yeah, but I sound abrasive in my tone, not in my mic quality. Well, now that David's here, this is a really exciting episode for me because
Special guest.
Mooch is making a Pokemon game that seems to be something that's going to be accessible to people for their computers. I love playing old Pokemon games, and Mooch is making one that seems like it's just a bunch of rappers. Can you tell us how the fuck you did that, what the fuck it is?
All right, so I'm very influenced by the rap culture. That's the music I choose to listen to if I were to listen to something. And I've gone around with my camera to a lot of shows and met a lot of these people. And I look up to them. And Pokemon is my favorite game, my first video game ever. And when I was in college, I was studying computer science, so I understand how to code. And I'm coding my own Pokemon game. It's called Pokemon Infinity, right? It's going to be a free game. It's going to be non-profit, just me making a project I truly believe in. You're going to be able to download it online. But it's basically my own region, a whole new story, a whole new game. And it has all my favorite people in it. So Cameron and David you'll be able to fight Cameron and David at one point throughout the game. And hopefully kick their ass.
I'm going to hold you to that, though.
But no, it's basically, I have a whole story I wrote, a whole treatment. Basically, the way I operate right now is I come up with like a treatment, more or less, like a breakdown of my ideas. And then I just, you gotta execute it. But the way that it includes red and gold, right? So the game takes place like as if like, like the Hoenn region?
Yeah.
That's the third region of Pokemon. So the game takes place like during that time of Pokemon. But there's more Pokemon and it goes all the way up to the newest one as well. And it's like a region outside the outskirts of Kanto and Johto. It is called the Mugen region because Mugen means infinity in Japanese. And the beginning of the game, you get handed a Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and you go off and about in my region. And at the end of the game, you have to defeat me. I am the fucking champion. I am the champion of the region. I am the Lance of the region.
What does the wait, Mooch? What's the protagonist look like? Is it Iann?
So the protagonist is yourself, the character, right? The character, there's like, I have like 8 different character designs that you can choose from. And people that are my favorite people play characters in the game, like gym leaders, trainers on routes.
Like who?
So for example, Cameron Kasky, he is in the 4th gym, right? He's not the gym leader. Alex Lange is actually the gym leader because I nominated him.
Fuck you.
I nominated.
How is Alex a gym leader and not me?
Well, Alex is the gym leader because Alex, I know for a fact, Alex has completed a Pokemon game in front of me that I gifted to him. I gave Alex a Pokemon game and he beat it. So I'm proud of him for beating it. He earned gym leader. All right. David is the first guy. You're just like in the gym, you know what I mean? You're like one of those trainers you got to get by to go to the gym leader, you know?
That's so stupid.
What do I do?
You just talk shit and you throw your Pokemon and then you get.
Like the thing is,
He's got a Crobat.
We're so high in the ranks of your best friends that the fact that we've been reduced to just like gym leaders is so offensive.
Well, I got to give everyone something, you know what I mean?
Hey, do you have one for Mo?
Yeah, Mo's in there as well. He's with Sheck West at one point in the game. You got to fight him and Sheck together.
Wow, that's a boss battle that I want to beat.
But basically, there is a few antagonists that I created that I don't want to spoil. You know what I mean? And
Give us one.
one of the antagonists is the masked man. He is a man in a mask. You don't know who he is until the end of the game.
He's Darth Vader.
Can you make the Giovanni character Anthony Scaramucci Sr.?
My dad is actually in the game, but he is Darth Vader. I have Darth Vader playing him.
I knew it. I knew it.
And Giovanni's in the game as well, but he's only in the game for a little bit, just like one mission.
So
You know?
wait, what program, like what computer program do you use to make a fucking
So I'm
Pokemon?
using if you guys go on your Steam, right? You go on Steam and you download RPG Maker. It is a game engine designed to create RPG games. There's been millions of Pokemon, actually not millions, but like a handful of Pokemon games that are fan made that have been made through RPG Maker. And it supports, like, it already has like a basic code more or less for a Pokemon game, like, you know, so it already has like battles and shit. I just have to critique it and manipulate it to be my game. So that's what I've been
How
doing.
do you design the characters?
I use Adobe Photoshop to do the pixel art. If you just look up on YouTube, how do I do pixel art in Adobe Photoshop, comes right up. And
Wait, how much Photoshop costs? What, $20?
so Adobe Creative Cloud to get everything is $20 a year.
I thought Photoshop was like $200.
Ah,
Really?
it's way cheaper than you think. Yeah. Especially if you're a student, it's even cheaper. I think it's like, just gotta, you know, I still have my student ID even though I dropped out. So you just gotta,
I'm pretty sure that's like I'm pretty sure that's the fourth scam that you've admitted to on this podcast. David Mooch was just earlier. He was saying like, yeah, I asked him how he got into editing music videos and how he's gotten to this point where he's worked on videos with, you know, Machine Gun Kelly, Iann Dior, all these fucking great artists. And he says, well, the first thing I did was steal my dad's credit card and buy every Star Wars Lego set ever made. Yeah, Mooch, you're like one of those
Yeah,
kids.
I'll never forget. Actually, my dad was so mad when he found out. I was downstairs because my lair was like the ping pong room. I just like turned the ping pong table into like my fucking lair, you know. Like I would just like there's like a closet next to the ping pong table where I'd organize my Legos, and then the ping pong table is where I'd shoot the videos. And my dad came home one day and he was so furious because I spent like a calm $2,000 on Legos. Like I was like 8 years old. I was like, I was grounded for a while. Yeah. I was the type of kid where I would like always be getting shit like in trouble with like my mom and dad for like Xbox, like Legos. Like there's one time where, because the basement was like where I would do my shit. Like I'd do my Lego stuff. I'd go to the other room. I had that TV and the Xbox. Like, you know what I mean? It was like I would never leave the basement. And there's one time my mom took caution tape. She put it all over the basement door and locked it. And she was like, basement is off limits from now on. And it was a sad time. I actually went around the house and I broke in through the window and continued to play Xbox that same night.
What happened when they found out?
You know, sometimes I think I'm at the point where my family's just like, gotta let him live. Gotta let him just play his Xbox. Gotta let him just do his shit.
I think if you Google the 1%, this story is the first thing that pops up.
You know, you gotta be different from the rest. And the 1% thing is some political shit I don't even want to get into. But you know, you gotta be like the zero. You gotta be the 0.1%. You gotta be like different from everyone. You know, yeah.
Mooch, that's profound.
I don't even want to talk about politics. That's not my life. Even though it chases me everywhere I go. There's one time I was in Washington D.C. right for the fucking bullshit Trump inauguration, right? So my dad was like, "Hey, you want to come?" And I was like, "All right, sure. I don't want to go to school, right? So I'll leave school. I'll leave school to come, you know." And I come, and I'm walking around the street of D.C. in a fucking suit and tie because I had to go to some event with my dad where I was required a suit and tie. And I'm with my buddy who I went to boarding school with, who happens to be going to boarding school in DC at the time, and he's in a suit and tie because he was at the same event as me. We're walking down the fucking street, and we walk into there's a car on fire in the street, and a bunch of TV news reporters. So we're walking around, and I'm like on my phone, like making videos, being an idiot, and I just got punched in the face by some like rebellious person, and I just got the shit kicked out of me, and I ran for my life. So that's like my story with politics. Yeah.
Why does that even have to do with politics? You just got punched in the face. You just got assaulted.
It's because I was wearing a suit in DC during Trump's inauguration, so they like immediately categorized me as like a 1%er Trump supporter.
Well,
And
now your dad is
punched in the face.
Now your dad is one of the fiercest Biden warriors in the country.
Exactly.
Anthony Scaramucci, Joe Biden partnership is
Trump.
magical.
You know? Fuck him.
Yes. Let's make it abundantly clear in this podcast. Let's make it as clear as possible in this episode. Fuck Trump. Just getting Trump out of the way.
Fuck Trump.
Can we get one from you too, David, or are you good?
Fuck Trump.
All right, sorry, we've been talking. All right, great. Thank you, everybody. Very well.
By the way, one thing that is fucking legendary that I watched very recently on my last flight out to LA, I watched a Family Guy episode about my dad. They literally made an episode of Family Guy about my dad. I was like, that is fucking where Peter Griffin plays Anthony Scaramucci.
No way.
God.
Wait,
yeah,
you gotta watch it. You guys gotta watch it.
He gets hired and he's in the White House for like
and then
5
minutes. And then him and Trump get in a fight. It's literally about my dad.
Oh yeah, the whole episode is him fighting with Trump.
It's like he becomes the communication director, and then he gets fired, and then he has a fight with Trump.
Yeah.
And like in the episode, I was like, this is what is this? I was like, what the fuck am I watching? I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that was influenced by my crazy father. So shout out Seth MacFarlane, shout out Family Guy. Yeah. I went to the same boarding school as Seth MacFarlane, and Seth MacFarlane is banned from the campus because he wrote the fucking idea for Family Guy based on the headmaster. Like the headmaster from the school, the headmaster is like the main guy. You know what I mean? Like the old guy who like runs shit at the school, you know, disciplines everyone. And the headmaster is supposed to be Brian, who's the dog, right? Like the alcoholic dog. And Peter Griffin's supposed to be Seth MacFarlane's dad, who was a teacher at the school. And his mom was supposed to be Lois, who was also a teacher at the school. And the dog was like faking to be the dad's best friend to get Seth MacFarlane's mom, you know? So that's why that's like written in there.
Wow.
What the fuck? I thought that Brian...
And Seth MacFarlane, the headmaster found out, right? And he sued Family Guy. And he like didn't win though, but he went, attacked Seth MacFarlane, and he got banned from the campus. He's not allowed to go back to the campus ever again.
Are there any other like legend stories from Seth MacFarlane's time there?
Yeah, so my math teacher, right, who I had there, was Seth MacFarlane's math teacher as well, and he plays like Peter Griffin's dad, right? You know, like the angry old guy, and who they ended up. So after the suing thing, right, they had that suing problem where the headmaster tried to sue Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane had to like kill off characters that were based on the people of the school. So he had to kill off Peter Griffin's dad. So that's why Peter Griffin's dad is dead in the show. And the dad was my math teacher, and my math teacher's computer background was a picture of the character, which was kind of cool.
So he didn't care?
No, he thought it was cool. He like loved Seth.
That's so weird. I thought that Brian was supposed to be like, I thought Brian was Seth's like perspective character.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that Brian was
probably is now because he's like always singing and stuff. I'm sure that's in there, but originally in the first like 2 seasons, right? Like that's like what the story is supposed to, inspired from. And they even make some jokes about the name of the school is Kent, which like, excuse my French for all the ladies out there listening, which sounds like right. And there's even a joke in Family Guy where the news anchor is like says some shit about Kent school, and he's like more like school or something. And then there's another joke where they have there's another boarding school that's in the same league as Kent called Choate, which sounds like Chode. And then they say that too, like this guy's like, I went to Choate, so I'm like excellent, I'm like prestigious. And he's like, you went to Chode. It's like I don't know, they like make little jokes at it.
So that's some fascinating Family Guy history. David, what up? Weren't you on Family Guy?
I was on the Christmas episode. 2017.
Who'd you play?
We're all like tied in.
Boy number 2. I didn't. Okay.
Who was boy number 1?
some asshole. I was at a Fox party, and long story short, I met a Family Guy producer, and I'm a huge Family Guy fan. So I was like, "Yo, I'm a huge Family Guy fan," and he was like, "Oh no way, come by to the Family Guy studios, watch table read." Oh, awesome, bet. So like a couple weeks later, I did. I went, sat through a table read. They gave me a tour of the studio. I was having the time of my life. He's the guy sits me down. The producer sits me down. He's like, wait here. He comes back. He's like, all right, so we're gonna give you 2 voices on the Christmas episode next year. We're gonna pay you a SAG scale, and your reindeer number 2 and boy number 2. And reindeer number 2 got cut out of the episode. So that's my Family Guy story.
Fuck, dude, that was gonna be your magnum opus.
What does that even mean? Your big thing?
It was gonna your big thing, David.
Yo, I just have to say this one thing shouting out Cameron for being funny. One time, Cameron Kasky, I went and watched him debate live because he's a very excellent debater. And there was this kid who was like entitled, I don't even know who he is, right? And he was like trying to attack Cameron, right? And while he was attacking Cameron decided to chug his entire water bottle in 2 seconds in this kid's face as the kid was like, well, you're like a little piece of shit, and he just like chugged the water bottle in his face in like instantly, and everyone in the crowd started clapping for Cameron for chugging the water bottle. I've never even it was amazing. So shout out Cameron.
That's a very, very editorialized version of that story. I did a panel that never.
That was at the Salt Conference.
It was at the Salt Conference we referenced last episode. Darth Vader, your dad's
the Sith conference
summit.
I mean, hey, wasn't Valerie Jarrett there? I like Valerie Jarrett.
There's some liberals there, you know. We keep it handful of everything, you know. I don't run that shit. My first time ever going. Okay, so the Salt Conference. Speaking on the Salt Conference, it's happened for 10 years now. It's been 10 Salt Conference in Vegas, and I've been to one of them, only one. So it's not really my conference, you know.
That was the only one you had been to?
Yeah, ever.
Did you go to the Abu Dhabi one? Because I got invited to that.
Oh, that's so cool.
I've never been to any of them except for that one where we all hung out and had fun.
Oh, well, yay, good for us. Woohoo. Anyway.
So Cam, you're when you drank the water bottle in front of that guy, if I recall correctly, your philosophy is that if someone tries to alpha dog you what was it? You beta them back. You don't try, because then if one person's trying to alpha you and then you don't try to alpha them, then they just look like an asshole for being the only one trying to alpha.
Basically, it's a masculinity thing, right? When somebody challenges you and when somebody tries to appear as though they're the bigger man, because, you know, appearing as though they're the bigger, more commanding and intense person normally makes people think that they're smarter. You know, the louder you talk and the more flippantly you express yourself, the more people are inclined to think that you're the smart one. You know, that's why so many Fox News hosts are so successful, is that they really say things just loud enough for people to think they're true. So when you're up in a contentious conversation with somebody, and it's 2 dudes, and this is really only a mind game that works on men. Men are very simple creatures. It's 2 dudes, and one of them is trying to alpha the other. You know, they're trying to be the big guy, the tough guy. The key is, if you don't try to alpha that person back, you are not. It's not like you're the beta. You're just somebody who didn't try and get involved, and therefore
it's like the use not giving a fuck, right?
Exactly.
Like how do you always win?
If you ever see those videos,
the art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, we've all seen that book in the airport. If you see those videos of there'll be somebody standing right in front of a bear that's charging them, but that person doesn't flinch, and right when the bear gets up to them, the bear looks away. The fact of the matter is, if you are trying to be like the big alpha male and somebody tries to alpha you back and they win, you've lost. But if you're just trying to play it cool, if you're complimenting the other person, if you're just, you know, being a friendly person, no matter what, you win, because you're not trying to compete with somebody. And if somebody's trying to compete with you and you're not trying to compete with them back, that doesn't mean they win. You can't win a competition that is one-sided. So if you're ever up in a discussion with somebody and they're trying to like make you look small, the best way to not look small is to not try and look big. It's just to be who you are. And as long as you are unflinchingly yourself, you know, you're going to come out on top. But anyway, we're running too long anyway. This is the Mooch childhood / Pokemon episode. David joined late, and frankly, your mic sounds kind of bad today.
What's going on with my mic, man?
I don't know, but
It
that,
doesn't sound that bad.
okay, well, it does, is the thing. I make Will
See,
edit
what's
the,
cool, Cam, what's cool about your mic is that it got, as you were talking about like being louder and manlier than another person, your mic got louder. Mooch, did you notice that?
oh yeah. It's because I'm a big tough guy.
Oh, no.
Guy.
ASMR now.
Anyway, I don't know what episode we're putting out next. I think this is the second one. I think I might put out the episode with our buddy Josh Rush or the episode about my panic attacks. But Mooch and David will probably record some shit this week, and I'll talk to you guys.
When I get some artists on here.
Mooch, didn't your car just get towed?
Yeah, so I woke up this morning, and for some reason I always wake up and there's always some shit I have to like overcome in the morning, you know what I mean? And this morning I woke up I woke up and I went to go get in my car to grab some Chick-fil-A, you know what I mean? I want to get some chicken minis, because chicken minis, by the way, they're fucking amazing. Chicken minis, if I get chicken minis, I could do anything. I could start a fucking business, all right? Chicken minis are chicken nuggets wrapped in biscuits with like a little like, you know, a little love on it or something. And they only happen at Chick-fil-A from 7 a.m. to like 10 a.m., right? It's like a morning thing. And so I'm like, I got to get my chicken minis to start my day, you know what I mean? So I try to hop in my car. My car is fucking missing in the parking garage at my apartment complex in LA. So I'm like, holy shit. Like, did someone steal my car? Turns out that the apartment complex towed my car because my parking spot is 123 and I was parked in 121 for the day yesterday. And they towed it because of that. But I've never seen anyone ever park in 121, 120, like, you know what I mean? So it was like, I was like a spot to the right from my spot that never is used, and they towed it. So I had to go deal with that. That was my morning. Gotta stay positive. Gotta just, tomorrow I'm gonna get some chicken minis.
tomorrow we'll all get our chicken minis, whatever your chicken minis is, whoever you are, whatever your small goal is, you're gonna achieve it. All right, this is boring, so literally so boring now. Goodbye.
Pokemon Infinity.